Hi, how's everyone doing tonight? This is Terry, Terrific Cards. We'll just hold off just a minute or so more just to let some people join us. All right. Well, welcome. I'm Terry from Terrific Cards, and this is my Monday night coffee and a card. So I have my tea and I'm ready to go. It's a little gloomy here, so it might be a little bit dark in the room, but we're good to go tonight. A little bit of rain. We need it. I'm not sure how many of you are in the area, but we have a water restrictions going on right now because of some issues with the pipe in Calgary, and we get our water from Calgary. So we have been dealing with water restrictions for the past week, just over a week, and so it's been challenging, I suppose, and so we're all working to make sure that we're conserving. So this rain is very much appreciated for my grass. So I can't wait to see it grow, to be honest with you. This tea is warm. What else has been going on? Not a lot this week. I am working on some new classes coming up. I've got a fun folds class. I should have the email out for that in the next day or so. So watch your mailboxes for that. Also got some other classes coming up in July and August. So I will be the classes themselves are posted, but the projects are not. So I'm working on those, and Harley, of course, is running around right now, so I'm sure you can probably hear her jumping up and down off the chair. And what else? I think that's about it. I've got a pre-order that I did for a Christmas suite that's coming out in the online exclusives, and you'll be able to get it on July 5th, I believe. And so I am going to play around with that for a Christmas class coming up in July. So watch for that too. All right. So why don't we get making a card? How's that sound? Let's go down to my table. All right. This is our card. Okay. Yeah, I think we might be a little gloomy in here tonight. That's all right. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to work on that. And this is the stamp set that we're using. Round we go. We're using the bundle, so we're using the dies as well. All right. Really cute set. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pastels and I'm going to take some fluid watercolor paper. And I'm going to grab this color here. It's like a reddish orange. And we're going to play around with this. All right. So you're going to take your watercolor paper and a pair of scissors, just an old pair. And I'm going to, let's go back to the area that I already did, and I'm going to shave it onto my watercolor paper piece. As much or as little as you want. So you're just going to lightly shave that off. And I can add a little bit more if I want to after. All right, so you can see that there. Then I'm going to take a spritzer. And this just has water in it. And I'm going to spritz this. I want to create a funky background. There we go. That looks good, eh? So we're going to have some little dots of it, and we're going to have some watercolor parts of it. All right, and then I'm going to dry this off here. So we're just going to take the heat tool. This is going to make a bit of noise for a second, and we're going to dry this. So I'm just doing the other side of it, just so I can kind of straighten it out a little bit with the heat. All right, I think we're probably good enough there for now. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So now I can see my background piece. I'll bring it up a little bit closer so you can see that. What do you think? All right, I'm going to set that aside for a few minutes. We don't need it right now. I'm going to take a cloth and I'm just going to wipe off the water and stuff. We don't want to get stuff on the rest of our card. All right, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to work with the dies. So I've got some of the thoughtful Journey papers, and I have 2 sheets here. And this is just because I wanted to have just the bottom part there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. All right. And I'm going to trim off about 2 inches of the bottom here. And we'll set that aside. Take the second piece and trim off 2 inches of that one too. Okay. All right. So now I have these 2 pieces. Move this out of the way. And I need my die cut machine. All right. So now this is the die from the Round We Go. We're going to make a rosette with this. All right. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it here, and I am going to cut out the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the bottom of the paper, my scalloped edge, and I'm going to line this up on this side here. So I've got it lined up here, and I've got it lined up here. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just because I kind of wanted it at that spot. But if it doesn't, if you get it higher, you put it in the middle of the paper, that's okay too. I'm going to move this up a little bit. There we go. There's one. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the second one. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So once again, I'm going to put it in the same spot. I'm going to line it up at the end, and I'm going to kind of line it up along the edge here. Moves a little bit, but that's okay. This does not have to be perfect. All right, there we go. Now we have our second piece. Actually, before we get rid of this machine, I am going to die cut the circle that we're going to need. So I'm going to take this paper back. So this is the top of that paper. And I'm going to see if you can see this here. I guess we will have to move that out of the way a little bit. I'm taking the happy birthday stamp. And I'm taking just some black ink. And I kind of want some of this orange here. So I'm going to stamp it into that orange space. All right. Then I'm going to take this and let's see. That's going to be a little too wide. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this. Just because I'm using the smaller machine tonight. If I was using my big one, then I wouldn't have to cut this down. But I have this to go through the machine, so I'm going to cut it. All right. My bottom one. So then I'm going to take, this is the die. It also comes in that set. And we are just going to line up the happy birthday in the circle. All right, run it through. Okay, so this is what we've got. All right, and we're going to need to punch that out. So, get rid of that machine. And I brought a punch. So this is a 1.5 inch circle. You can use dies if you have whatever dies you have for circles, and just get something that's just slightly bigger, about 1.5 inches, right? And we're going to punch that out. Perfect. There we go. Now we have our happiest birthday. Okay, so let's go back to these. When you're doing these, you may find that depending on how your machine cuts, it may cut through the paper, especially if you're using DSP. It may cut through the paper a little bit more, or cardstock may not. So just play with your sandwiches and see how it cuts for you. You may just have to play around with this die set. So I'm going to fold these, and I'm going to fold this the tab end, I'm going to fold it in. And then I'm just going to start folding accordion style all the way down. This is a really cute set. So you'll notice in this card that the rosette is fairly large, right? And that's fine. That's what I wanted for this card. But if you're thinking, well, it's way too big for what I want it for, when you're making your rosettes, you can actually make them smaller by cut your paper down smaller. So instead of, say, the 2 inches that I was using, use 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch, and that'll make your rosette a little bit smaller. All right. Okay, so we've got one down, and we're going to do the second one. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. We're just folding it on the score lines in an accordion style. The next part is all about how your fingers work, right? Because we have to put this together. All right, there we go. So when I did the first one, I actually used liquid glue. But tonight I'm going to use tear tape because it's a little bit quicker, so I don't have to wait for it to dry. And it holds just as well. All right, so on that tab side, I am going to put a little piece of tear tape. And it's going to be a little bit wide, but that's okay. Carefully try and tear that so I'm not tearing the paper. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one as well. There it is. Let's take this one before I do it. There we go. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now peel your tear tape, and we're going to run it back to back. So right where this one was, so this is the tab end, and this is my tab end on this one. I'm going to put this end on top of that tab. A little bit of glue hanging over, a little bit of tear tape hanging over there. So I'm just going to fold that. All right. So I'm going to put this one right on here, just like that. Press it down. All right. And then we're going to take this off of here, the other end of tear tape. And we are going to make a circle, and we're going to glue those two ends together. Perfect. Just like that. So now you should have something that looks like this. All right. So then what we are going to do is I've got a 3/4 inch punch, and I want to punch out 2 circles just out of scrap white cardstock. And I'm going to put, I think I'm going to use liquid glue for this. So I'm going to put a bunch of liquid glue on there, on both of them. And this is just what's going to hold our rosette together. So you just need something in the middle, and don't worry about these because you're not going to see them. They're going to be hidden either by the back of the rosette or with the sentiment that we're putting on top of it. All right, so I'm just going to push those out of the way so I don't get them caught in when I'm making my rosette. And I'm going to push this down. So I want my rosette to come out. Sorry, I have a couple little spots here that just don't seem to want to. There we go. All right, let's try this again. A couple other ones. Here we go. All right, that's a little bit better. And I just need to play around a little bit. There's a couple little finicky spots here where it just doesn't seem to want to fold correctly. And that's my fault. I don't know why. Just every once in a while, you know? There we go. Whoop. It popped up. Of course, eh? Okay, this isn't as difficult as it looks right now. It really isn't. It's just, I think because I have a piece here that it cut through a little bit. So I just want to play with that a little bit just to get it folded just right. Yeah, it doesn't seem. I think I've got a missed fold in there somewhere. Two folds going the same direction, and that's what the problem is. So I just need to figure out why my accordion is just not working correctly. There you are. Okay. So then once you've got that, you're going to take one of your punched out circles. Should really have some tweezers. That'd be easier, then I don't get my fingers all gluey, but here we are. All right. Okay. And I'm just going to hold that there for a second just to get it to stick. And then I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it down on top of my other one. There we go. Okay, so we can see we've got our little circles on there. So I'm just going to hold that for just a second. There we are. Okay, so we're going to set that aside to let it to dry. And then we're going to put the rest of our cards together. So I'm folding my card base. And then I'm going to take that background piece that we created earlier, and I'm going to glue that down. So we're going to glue that down right in the center of our card. There we go. And then I have a little piece from the Memories and More pack. And I am going to, what did I just do with that adhesive? There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to put that off to the side. I want to offset that just a little bit. Okay. All right. Excuse my arms here for a second. Okay. And then our rosette. And we are going to take that and we're going to put it off down here. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of tear tape to do that tonight. We just put it in the middle there, right where our our punched out circle is. That's going to be our base. Okay. And then we are going to do, there we go. We're going to glue that down. And then we're going to take our happiest birthday. Okay. And we're going to take a little bit of adhesive there. And we're going to glue that right to the top of there. There we go. All right, and then I just want to add, so I've got some bling there. We're just going to add a little bit of that. And let's put them up here. So these are the trio, the adhesive back trio pearls. Okay, there we go. How's that? There is our card. All right, there's my original. Awesome. All right, not too difficult. Like I said, that the rosette can be a little bit finicky sometimes, just depending on how it cuts out. But honestly, it's not that difficult. You just have to get the hang of it, play around with it a little bit, and it'll come. Don't worry about it. All right. And so I think that is it for tonight. I hope you like the card. I hope you like the bundle. And once again, that is the Round We Go bundle. And watch your emails for some upcoming classes. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.